Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jake Ziegler. You are listening to Lancer Hockey, and we welcome you to the Salem Ice Center here in Salem, New Hampshire. You guessed it, it's in Salem for tonight's NHIAA Division I Hockey Showdown between the visiting rivalry Pinkerton Astros and the Londonderry Lancers. The Lancers are coming into tonight at 7-7 and even 500. They are on a 3-game win streak. Wins coming from Salem, Exeter, and their last game being against the Memorial Crusaders that you saw here. What a fantastic game that was. 7-5 the final. Many lead changes, many momentum changes going back and forth. If you watch that film, you will definitely. I can't see how you don't agree with me about that. The Memorial game was phenomenal, to say the least. And that was a 7-5 victory. The Lancers now rank 8th in Division I, and I heard from many sources that if the Lancers win tonight's game as well as their next game, which concludes the homestand against the Nashua South Purple Panthers, they clinch their way to a playoff berth in Division I. So 2 wins, and they are under their control. They control their own destiny to the playoffs in Division I. And as I mentioned, they won 3 games in a row, so hopefully they can keep that win streak tonight and extend it to 4. The Lancers on the season as of now have allowed 2.85 goals per game, while they've been scoring on average 3.21 goals per game. So that is a good statistic to look at. They are scoring more goals on average than they are allowing on average, so we got to keep that up. As a Lancer fan, Lancer broadcaster, we are hoping, and I am hoping, that we can continue to score goals at one end of the ice, and Baldwin can keep goals out of his cage at the other end. The Lancers scored a close season-high 7 goals last game against Memorial. The most goals scored in one game for Londonderry is when they shut out the Pelham Alvern Broncos back on the 13th of January. That was by a final score of 9-0. So, as of now, it is 9 goals, being the most that they scored in one game. The Lancer power play last game against the Crusaders went 1 for 3, although their last opportunity was abbreviated, and Memorial also pulled their goaltender. So 1 for 3 on the power play in their last game, looking to hopefully improve that, given that they are awarded opportunities on the power play. And 7 goals for the Lancers, as I said, in that last game against Memorial. And one of them was an empty netter. And with that being said, they registered only 19 shots on goal. So 19 shots on goal in a 45-minute game, and they score 7 goals, although one of them was an empty netter. On the other hand, the Pinkerton Astros are having a rough go at their season. They are coming into tonight at 4-10. So hopefully they can get there, at least try to end their season on a strong note. They are coming off of a defeat 5-4 against the Manchester Central Little Green. Pinkerton is having a rough season, as I mentioned, and they are positioned 14th in the Division I standings, and I am not sure if they have been mathematically eliminated from the playoff contention. But I do know that with 4 games remaining on their schedule, they are going to have to win them all. And win them all with convincing fashion if tiebreakers come into play with goals against and goals for, along with other categories. Coming into tonight's game, Pinkerton is on average letting up 3.64 goals per game, while they are scoring on average 2.14 goals per game. So while the Lancers are scoring more on average than they're letting up, the Astros are the opposite. They are allowing more goals on average than they are scoring. So a little bit of opposite between both the Lancers and the Astros as far as goal scoring and allowing goals on average is concerned. A little bit more statistical notes for the Lancers that I wanted to mention to you guys as we near the end of this regular season. The last game for the Lancers here, that is also on our YouTube channel, so check it out. Again, very good game. I recommend anybody watching it. For high school, it exceeded the entertainment level that we're used to here at this brand of hockey, I guess I could say. So we are hoping that we can get another game today. But again, not trying to get too off track, but watch that game. And as I mentioned, going back to what I was originally going to say, the Lancers recorded 10 penalty minutes. And that is, I believe, the most here, at least at the Ice Center, as we only cover home games. And I know I mention that every time, but with these stats that I'm telling you guys and our audience behind their device or computer screen, we only record stats for their home games. We do not record them for away games. So it might be misleading to say these. However, the videos that we show you on our YouTube channel, I'm able to view them, I'm able to record the stats, and I'm able to give you guys a mathematical image of how the Lancers are doing. So yes, 10 penalty minutes, as I mentioned, 10 penalty minutes. That is the most penalty minutes at home this season. Starting netminder Cody Baldwin now has a record of 7-5, as he has started 12 out of the 14 games that the Lancers have played this season, and he is averaging a 2.17 goals against average. And I will say that before the Memorial game, he was averaging 1.99, which is under 2, which is phenomenal. You got to give him a lot of credit for that. In the last 3, 4, 5 games for the Lancers, as he has let up very few goals in a decent amount of time. And in Londonderry's last victory against the Crusaders, he made 24 saves. And 24 saves, let up 5 goals, so it'd be 19 out of 24. That is 79.1% of his shots that came on frame. He saved them. Coming into tonight, he has started 12. Actually, I already mentioned that, so I will move on to my next note. Senior captain Nick Donnelly and junior forward Pat Maloney each scored 2 goals last game in the Ice Center here, while Troy Muldoon, Brian Murphy, and his brother Patrick Murphy each contributed to the scoring sheet with 1 goal apiece. The usual heavy-duty face-off takers for the Lancers, those being Andrew Morissette and Troy Muldoon. Morissette went 8 for 17, and Muldoon went 15 for 23. So the face-offs are very little. They are the small things, I guess you could consider. But to say the least, most restarts in hockey, I should say all restarts in hockey, are with a face-off. So if you win those and establish possession, that is baby crawling your way to a scoring opportunity and or possession. And with 1 minute and 32 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock, we are moments away with the national anthem at ice level and the starting lineups. And as I bring up the standings, I will not tell you, because I like to mention that for a second intermission, but what I will tell you is that although the Lancers are in the middle pack of Division I, they seem to be in contention still for a playoff spot. A lot of teams are still chasing them, while the Pinkerton Astros are looking to keep their playoff berths alive, if that is the case. I am not 100% sure if they've been mathematically eliminated or not. And as I said, 4 games left on their schedule, and 4 games left on the Lancers schedule as well. And the Astros need to win them all if they want to have a prayer. As I look at the Pinkerton bench, they have very bright red uniforms on. I don't know if it's just the way I look at them and the way that I see them from my eyes, but their uniforms are bright red. Brighter than I anticipated. I know that is a weird thing to mention, but what I will say is that as last game I mentioned that a mouth guard was on the ice. You know, the very small things that nobody notices except me. And obviously the Lancers, once again, as they do all of their home games, they are wearing their white jerseys for tonight's rival matchup. It's been a rivalry between Londonderry and Pinkerton for a very long time. And down the road, they hope to keep that rival alive and very competitive. Obviously, Pinkerton has had the best of us in many different sports. For the Pinkerton Astros, I will give you their starting lineup. Mike Francis, the junior, will start at the D pair. I was not able to hear that through the PA. I do know that Nick Trask will be up front. And I will say Brandon Levesque was the other D pair. And Patrick Hare will join him up top on the front line. And Edward Welch will join that front line. And the starting netminder for the Astros is Jordan Peruso. For the Lancers, our Londonderry Lancers, the starting lineup is as follows. Pat Maloney, a hard worker last game, made a lot of great plays that go unnoticed. Andrew Morissette, my man, he knows it. He'll be up top with him as well. Nick Donnelly, the captain, the stud they call him, will join that top line that they've been have all season long. And Colby Austin will be one of the D-men. He has a huge beard, and I love it. I love beards. I love the facial hair, obviously. And Jack Terrio will join Colby Austin at the D pair. And hey, look again. Cody Baldwin will be in net for tonight between the pipes for the Lancers. And we get you set for the national anthem at ice level. USA, USA. No, I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. We are getting set for first period action. The opening puck drop between the Lancers, the 7-7 Lancers, and the 4-10 Pinkerton Astros. This rivalry, as I mentioned, has been a long one. I am unsure how it developed and how it originated, but it has been a rivalry in southern New Hampshire upon many sports that has been very competitive, very fun to watch. I mean, as for us Lancer fans, if the Astros are dominating, obviously it isn't fun to watch, but things go both ways. Football, we haven't had any success. It's been multiple years since we've won the MAC game, and the Lancers against the Astros this season, they did defeat Pinkerton on the road on their ice at the, I believe it's the Ice Den in Hooksett. I am not sure about that name of the rink, but they won against Pinkerton the last time that they faced them 3-1. And with that being said, the Lancers are trying to make it a season sweep 2-0. The 2 times that they do play them, they are looking to make them both victories. And I like to mention the head coaches for both teams, as they obviously do a terrific job behind the benches with all of the managing that they do. Head coach for the Lancers, obviously, because I've mentioned several times, is Dan LeGros. And for the Astros, it is Ryan Piper. I like Piper. That's a interesting last name, as we are underway here with the Astros winning the faceoff, but it goes behind their own goal. And so collecting this one here is Donnelly, but he's unable to give it to Terrio at the blue line, so he chases. And he goes indirect behind the goal line to Austin. Austin backhands this one out, intended for Maloney, but here comes Donnelly up ice. He has a bad angle attempt here. He tries to get through the legs of that Astro. That being, I think, was Brandon Banks. I take that back. That was Mike Francis, as the Astros here are having trouble getting in the blue line. And this shot here over the bar by Morissette, and the Lancers get a line change. And that's Nyman. He picks this one off here as he comes on in goal and twirls and looks for options. Still has it here, backhands it, and gives it up to Patrick Hare, but he's unable to clear it. So Pat Murphy slaps that one at the blue line, and so now the Lancers control here after the giveaway, and coming on in was McKenzie. But Puzo covers. I'll eventually get it right. Jordan Puzo. I'll give him Puzo. If it's wrong, I'll go from there. Is Puzo? Puzo. All right. My man Austin, the cameraman that has been doing a fantastic job all season long, corrected me there, and I like that because I don't like to be wrong consistently throughout the broadcast. And the Astros win this face-off here as they're able to clear. And so coming up ice is Brandon Levesque, because he centers this one here on the backhand through the slot. But the Lancers are lucky because nobody was home to pick that one up for the Astros, as Troy Muldoon comes in with the backhand. And he puts it across the crease to, I believe that was Pat Murphy. He's able to finish that one as he picked up the loose change there in the Pinkerton zone. And so here is Muldoon here behind the goal line, but checking him off the puck nicely there was, I believe, Nick Trask. And so now the Lancers here at the blue line. Colby Austin, soft shot in, and Puzo covers. 13:08 to go in the first. This game, by far, at least from my perspective, has the most spectators here. The stands aren't filled, as they never are, but at least they're going across. They have a lot of people from both sides. And the Lancers here, Brian Murphy loses the puck to Pat Francis. He gave it away to him. And here comes Shane White in the corner boards. He is unable to win the puck. So taking this one is Brandon Banks. Brandon Banks with a great move across the circle. He comes on in, and he's checked off the puck there by, I believe, Tuccolo. Tuccolo got a stick in there to break the rush up, but hustling to this one is Lucas Marcielli. And he gets stapled along the inboards by Austin. He is by far the most physical Lancer on the roster. As this one here is wheeled on in and Baldwin pads at the side. And now it is Gennaro Mera. He puts it cross ice, but nobody is home, and now Austin takes it. Austin is just able to get it out, but great effort there. I believe that was Nick Trask. So they gain the line, and here comes Patrick Hare. Hare holds it, his shot just goes wide. I think it was deflected in front by a defenseman. And so here comes Donnelly off the steal, coming on in on the backhand. He's persisted there by Colin Layton. And here comes Pat Maloney, backhand, score! Morissette might have put it in, but I'll give it to Pat Maloney for now as he takes, and the Lancers take the early 1-0 lead. Just 3:14 into this first period, and the Lancers draw first blood. But I will still give credit to Morissette there for ensuring that goal, as he was, I believe, at the top of the blue paint to nudge it home. And the Astros here are down early, looking for a response right away, as they know what happened last time against these Lancers, as this one is a delayed offside, so the Astros have to check up. And so here's Federico behind the goal, and he rounds it around the boards to Maloney. Maloney, Morissette didn't see it, but he gets on the backhand, gains the line, gives it to Donnelly. Donnelly back to Morissette. He's unable to corral it there. And coming up ice, I believe, yes, that's 18, Chris Gill, one of the two. And now here comes Pat Maloney in the attacking zone. What a move there. He does that move every time, backhand. And Donnelly's unable to snatch it there. So here's Danny Bears at the blue line. Bears off of the end boards, and it comes out. So Puzzo sticks it aside. Now here's Maloney. Maloney gives it up. Yes, he does. And unable to see that one there was Brandon Banks. He could have had a odd man rush going the other way had he had sight of the puck. And here comes Nyman as he wins the puck here. And a shot here off the pads of Puzzo. Bad angle there. Puzzo, I'll get it right. Eventually. And Muldoon there loses an edge and loses the puck. So here comes Brandon Banks, but he has checked off the puck. This one just stayed on the line. No, I guess not. I thought that was onside, but putting it behind the blue line was Colin Layton. And so a neutral zone faceoff right in front of the Lancer penalty box between Morissette, that's Muldoon, and he loses it to the Lancers. Excuse me, what am I saying? He lost it initially, but now here comes the speedy Mikey McKenzie, unable to maintain possession there. So Edward Welch tried to get it across the red line, but he was unable to. So now the Astros have this here. And Edward Welch again unable to hold on to that. And so the Astros here are looking to come up ice. And here's Welch. Welch cross ice pass. Gaining the blue line is, I believe, Lucas Marcielli. Attempted pass here off of a skate. And another shot at the blue line. That was taken by Brandon Levesque. That's blocked in front by a Lancer. And Terrio backhands this one into the Pinkerton zone. And making that nice pass was Levesque, but unable to get by, I believe that was Shane White, was Guile. And so here comes Tuckalo. Tuckalo backhand, but nice block there by Sullivan, Cody Sullivan. Haven't mentioned his name yet. He gets a nice play in front to prevent that centering attempt. And so here's Tuckalo to Brian Murphy, my man in journalism. He knows it. I always talk to him about the games every moment that I get to in that class, and you know, I could just tell, oh, what a check there by Federico. Oh, he just came up and stepped against the, he stepped up to the red line and flat into the Astro. And now taking this one is Layton. He's unable to corral it, so Marcielli chips it in cross corner. And Nyman able to backhand it, but Morissette here fans on it. So this shot here goes over the bar. And the Lancers are able to clear. And the Astros gave up possession. Morissette tried to make his way through the neutral zone. He's unable to do so. And Terrio deflected it off of one of the Astros and into the Lancer bench. And a fast moving period, almost halfway through, 8:07 to go in this opening period. And Morissette to take this face-off. And if I could see the number, I could give you the Astro. I believe it is Matt Hall, 20. Take it back. Patrick Hare. Hare against Donnelly as Morissette was thrown out of the face-off circle. Or not, actually, it's not a face-off circle because that's at the neutral zone. And this one is fanned behind, and this centering attack by Maloney, unable to be corralled by in front, and a wrist shot there is patted aside by Puzzo. Oh, I'll never get it right. That's going to be a tough one. I'll eventually get it. Eventually I'll get it. And the Lancers here lose possession, but almost giving it away there was Levesque. And this giveaway here by Donnelly. Oh, deflected. think Puzo got a piece of it with his glove. He might have just saved it. Oh, I'll eventually get it right. Correct me every time, Austin, because it's going to be a long night if I can't get it right. And giving it away there, so the Lancers are on the forecheck still, was Trask. And Morissette here to give trouble, but the Astros clear. So Nyman will give it to Morissette, and oh wow, right off of the cage of, I believe that was Layton. He seemed a little bit dazed after that one, hit him right in the head. Obviously we want to avoid concussions at all costs. They are highly emphasized here at the high school level. Concussion, any symptom you see, you got to take your player off the ice, the field, or the court. And here comes Muldoon here, unable to get it cross ice. So now the Astros here come up ice. Chipping it in deep was Rooney, William Rooney. Austin here backhands it, gives it away to, I think that was Trask. Trask put it over the bar, so here comes McKenzie down the other way. And along with them, I believe, is Donnelly. Nope, I take that back. That is Murphy, Patrick Murphy to be exact. His brother being Brian. And so here is Terrio picking it up. And he goes cross ice to McKenzie. McKenzie pressured there by Marciali, who I believe was able to gain possession there, or cause possession to be gained by the Astros. This one is offside. Jumping the line there was Marciali, as he makes a great play that usually goes unnoticed. Defensive play. He steps over the blue line early, and offside is called. 5:51 to go in the first. Even one of the spectator parents, last year's team mom, I think it's Deanna Poland, she corrected me on the pronunciation of the Astro goaltender. It is Puzo, as this one here is offside. Puzo. Oh my God, I'll never get it right. I'll never get it right. Puzo, I deeply apologize if you end up watching this game film. No hard feelings. I will leave it at that. This shot here goes over the bar. Mara taking that shot, so Brian Murphy picks it up. He chips this one in deep and goes in on the forecheck. Along with him, I can't see who that is, but a shot there taken by Tuckalo right at the crease. Oh, and Puzo. Oh my goodness, I'll never get it right. Was there, alert to make the save, and here comes Tuckalo here. 2 chances, and Puzo makes the saves. Man, I am getting, I'm getting confused. Whew, I just need to collect myself here as a face-off here to Puzo's left. Shot here taken by Bears at the blue line is blocked in front by Hare. And so the Astros here come up ice. Does Welch. Welch chips it in deep, and Baldwin sticks it down so that Danny Bears can take it below the goal line. The Lancers give it up to, I believe that was Levesque. And Bears makes a nice check there in the corner boards. And the Astros here are able to keep it in. Does Layton. Here come the Lancers. Yes, Maloney, but falling to the ice there was Morissette. And Maloney sticks with it. Hard work here. Gives it to Donnelly, to Morissette, back to Donnelly, coming in, goal. Oh, and that one was deflected wide. Great tic-tac there, but unable to make the toe, or the goal, they say. Tic-tac-toe, but unable to finish it was Donnelly. And here is Maloney on the far end, on the far boards, right at the blue line, and it does cross, so this one should be offside, and it is. And there is now 4:06 showing on the scoreboard clock. You know what I'll think of it? I'll think of it like oozing. So I'll go Puzo. I'll call it Puzo. So I'll think like it's, something's oozing. I know that's probably a weird analogy, but if it's a way for me to pronounce his last name right, I am all for it. As this one here at the red line comes in on Puzo. And for the rest of the night, I'll be applauding myself every time I get his name right. Almost a breakaway there. Stretch pass intended for Gill, and it becomes icing. And so Muldoon and Sullivan will square off in this faceoff, and Muldoon wins it. He backhands this one to Parilla. Parilla's shot was deflected in front and then hacked that there by Murphy. But the Astros here are able to control, does Rooney, and Rooney chips it in deep, and coming in on the forecheck is Gill. Gill here, a really funny bounce there off the stanchion, so the Lancers aren't able to control it here. This one's blocked in front, and a shot here. Oh, and coming out in front of the net was the puck because it took a huge bounce off of the end boards. But Baldwin was able to do enough. And here comes Maloney in on goal, wrapping around, and he gets tripped up. Excuse me, that's McKenzie. He gets tripped up. And the Lancers will get the first power play opportunity of tonight for a cross-check. Cross-check is the call with 3:09 to go. And going to the box is, if I can see his number, I see it now, it is Mike Francis. He will go to the penalty box for the Astros. 2 minutes for cross-checking. And as I mentioned last game against Memorial, the Lancers went 1 for 3 in their power play. So let's hope that they can improve upon that and get a better statistic for my next game that I will be announcing, which will be against Nashua South, as the Lancers conclude their 3-game homestand this coming Saturday. And Morissette loses the faceoff, so scaling it down ice was Layton. And Baldwin here gives it to Terrio. Terrio gives it to McKenzie below the goal line. Cross ice to Donnelly. Donnelly gives it to Morissette. He hits the brakes and then backhands this one below the goal line, where Donnelly will win this puck battle, and he has plenty of time. As backing off of him, I believe, was Levesque. And here's Nyman. Nyman gives it to Donnelly, and he's at the top of the circle. And he goes cross ice. Oh, and just missing that was Morissette on the far side. He couldn't bury it home. Just mistimed that one there. And on the penalty kill, forecheck was Trask as he was chasing. But here comes Maloney, gains the blue line. He's on the backhand, goes around the goal. Plenty of time for the Lancers to do what they want. Now 55 seconds on this power play. Nyman to Maloney. Maloney again around the goal. This time he goes the other way. Still has it here. He gives it to Nyman, and Nyman looks for a shot. And a save there by Puzo with the pad. But this one here is unable to be cleared, as I thought it did. A wraparound shot by Maloney, and Puzo had to hold the post there. And so here is Nyman. Nyman cross ice to Austin. Austin back to Nyman. And this one is an easy save for Puzo. And a lot of pushing and shoving after the whistle. Shoving there was Levesque, but I'm sure he had a reason for it. You know, they always look at the antagonizer, but not the instigator. That's often missed by the referees, but no penalties there. Just friendly how do you do's. And now 15 seconds to go. Nyman down below the goal line to Muldoon, and he gives it to McKenzie on the near boards. Back to Muldoon, and a shot here. Rebound by Maloney, just goes wide, and Puzo keeps the pad down. And cross-ice pass, score! McKenzie to Maloney, tic-tac-toe. They finally put it together, and they are up by 2. In the dying seconds of the power play, now showing 1 second, they scored in the very late stages of their power play, and they extend their lead to 2 with 1:10 to go in this opening period. And things are looking good for the Lancers, but there's still plenty of hockey to play. Nothing can be said quite yet, but the Astros are having a tough time at maintaining some zone time and creating opportunities in the offensive zone. And here is Terrio here with under a minute to go now. And this one here is deflected out. Stays in. I was going to go into the bench, but great hustle here by Muldoon in the corner. Muldoon, with his hard work, gives it to Murphy, and Murphy now is double teamed there, but still possessing our Lancers does Terrio, and he gives it up to the Astros, and the Astros here give it right back to the Lancers in Federico. He chips it in deep so the Lancers can get a change. And this one here, Terrio, what a great check there by check there by Terrio on Banks. You don't see too much physicality by Terrio. Here's a possible 2-on-1, Morissette, and Maloney. Morissette coming on in. Oh, and a pass there behind Maloney, and that will do it. 2 seconds and 1. And the Lancers have a 2-0 lead after 15 minutes of play. Could have made it 3, but a pass there was just behind the stick of Maloney. Morissette here unable to connect tape to tape, as they say. But nonetheless, the Lancers are heading to the dressing room, up 2. And I cannot remember an occasion where the Lancers are up by multiple goals after the first period of play. While the Astros are looking for a response, and they are looking for it quickly because things could get ugly. Although it is only a 2-goal lead for the Lancers, it is a fast-paced sport, and a lot of things can happen in a short amount of time. So the Astros are looking for a response, and are looking to get the next goal, because with a 2-goal lead, it is very critical who scores the next goal, whether is it a 3-goal lead for the Lancers or the lead is cut in half and it is only a 1-goal game. So the next goal scored, if there is one, is very important, very critical to see what type of game we will have here at the beginning of the second period, or whenever that goal happens to be scored. My name is Jake Ziegler. You are listening to Lancer Hockey, and the Lancers have a 2-0 lead after 1. We will be back for second period action. And welcome back for second period action here between the Lancers and the Astros, the rivalry that we all know here in southern New Hampshire, where the Lancers lead 2-0 with goals coming from Muldoon and I believe McKenzie, but it could have been Morissette had he gotten a piece of that one before he chipped it away. One of them being on the power play, so they are 1-for-1 on their only power play opportunity tonight. And once again, I would like to correct myself. The Pinkerton goaltender is spelled, his last name is spelled P-U-Z-Z-O. So taking a look at that, how would you pronounce it? So say that to yourself right now, and then be like, okay, would have I said that had I was behind the microphone? So again, I will clarify myself. I talked to the spectators again. I misheard them while I was announcing the game. They said it was Puzo, and that's initially what I had it as. I'm sorry, I had Puzzo. That's initially what I had it as. And I was right. I was right with that. And then my man here, the great cameraman that he is, but he corrected me and said Puzo because that's the way he was heard, or he heard it as he pronounced many different times, and I wasn't doubting him that he was wrong. It's just when I looked at the last name, I said, I'm thinking this is the way it's pronounced. And he would like to apologize for that as well because we don't like to butcher anybody's last name because some take it to more offense than others. So although Austin rarely gets to speak on the microphone, in fact he never gets to, I will let him apologize to all you audience out there right now.
Sorry.
And there it is, the one word you hear from the cameraman besides me or Adam. And speaking of Adam, he obviously is not in attendance tonight. I would have mentioned him by now. He is working again, surprise, but I heard this Saturday for the game against the Nashua South Purple Panthers to finish up the homestand, he should be in attendance. Again, I am not sure about that, but he has been working often, and I am hoping that he can join me alongside to call yet another game in his probable last season here as the Lancer hockey broadcaster. And I already gave him a lot of praise and a lot of kind words for what he has provided and what he has done for Lancer hockey and friends of Londonderry hockey through this YouTube channel and their organization. But again, he has taught me everything that I know about announcing for hockey. This is my second year. He has been doing it now for, I believe, 5 or 6 years, and he is my role model for announcing hockey. He does a phenomenal job from every aspect you can look at. And when you really listen to the way he calls the games, it's almost like you never want to turn your ears away. You never want to put your attention to anything else, because his voice and the way he articulates what he wants to say and how he calls the game, and specifically the analogies that he uses to describe the gameplay, is phenomenal. And I wish him the best for his future. And we turn the tables back to the action on the ice here as we are underway in the second period. And again, the Lancers have a 2-0 lead coming into this period. And so here is Perilla as he is able to get it out along with company. And this one will go for icing, although Maloney had some great hustle all the way down ice. And in my opinion, I believe the NHIAA should change a couple of rules as far as ice hockey goes. I believe that they should have a delay of game penalty if the defending team puts it over their glass without anybody touching it. And I believe that they should change their icing to hybrid icing, as they recently changed in the NHL, where the skater that reaches the face-off dots on the opposite side of the ice, whoever is there first will determine if it is icing or not, rather than touching the puck below the goal line, which is what it originally was. But, again, I am not to judge anything here as a shot is taken by Muldoon, and then a bank attempt was covered. At least it was clamped against his body and his arm of, here we go, Puzzo. And that's right. I was right all along. All right, I'll let it go. Yeah, I've been dragging it on way too much. And so Muldoon here loses the faceoff, but the Lancers maintain possession. Does Nyman. Nyman there double team, but he gives it to Shane White all alone below the goal line. A centering attempt here. Unable to put it away was Murphy. Murphy along with Tuckalo there, who was behind him, could not get a shot on goal there off that bid. And getting around, I believe that's Murphy nicely, was Banks. And here is Banks. Banks, but he gives it away to Bears. And here is Bears along the end boards, the far side boards with Terrio. Terrio gives it to Nyman, and Nyman is unable to clear, but he gets a gift. He gets it right back from the Astros. And as he moves his way up the ice, he loses it. But now they have it again, and it is Nyman. Nyman on the far side, blocked in front there by Layton. And so here is Marcielli, but he loses the puck to Shane White. White gives it to Tuckalo, the shot down the slot. Oh, and what a save there by Puzzo, top of the crease, staying square to that shot. And you got to give him a lot of credit for that, keeping his Astros squad in this one. 13:01 remaining in this second. So here is Morissette winning the faceoff cleanly all the way back to Terry at the blue line, and he makes his way down below and gives it back to Morissette, who's unable to corral it there, and having trouble there was Federico. So coming up ice is Trash. Trash cross ice. Oh, and the shot just goes over the bar. That cross ice pass was given to Sullivan. Oh, and it was very close there from cutting the lead in half. But here comes Donnelly on the breakaway, coming in on ice. What a save there by Puzzo, and thought the goal was off its pegs, but I guess not. No, it is not. Wait, yes, it is. I was right. The goal is off its pegs, and Donnelly off of the stretch pass there comes in alone on goal. But Puzzo was not fooled as he kept the pad down and keeps this game relatively interesting as his squad is only down 2 still. But the Astros need to feed off of that momentum that Puzzo is giving his squad, and they got to create some offensive attack opportunities if they want it to count, if they want his saves to count. And this shot here by McKenzie is deflected and did not get on goal. So here is Guile. And deflected in front by Muldoon. And Muldoon here clears it to the neutral zone, and a great play there by McKenzie. He's in on alone. What a save there by Puzzo again off the stick. 6 save there. But the Lancers control here. Here is McKenzie again looking to finish it off. And a shot here, glove save in and out of the glove of Puzzo. Wow, 2 close, maybe even 3 close chances there for the Lancers. 2, maybe even 3 breakaways. Clean breakaways in on Puzzo, and Puzzo stays strong all 3 times. And back checking here was Guile, or I should say forechecking, because he is in the attacking zone, but coming up with the puck is, I believe that is Federico. Yes, it is. Federico gives it to Murphy, Patrick Murphy, to be specific, and he gives up the puck to Francis. Francis comes up ice, and he's unable to connect there with Marcielli. And so here comes Donnelly, a possible on-main rush here. Back past the Maloney shot here, save, rebound. Oh, wheeled in front, just wide. Off of the rebound. Another save there by Puzzo. That might have been his 6th save in the period thus far. And here is Parilla. Parilla gives it up to Marcielli. And a shot here, all right down the crease, just wide by, I believe that is Puzzo, Jackson Puzzo, his brother. Wow. That was their opportunity there as Morissette just jumps the line, and He probably unintentionally did so, as he argues with Maloney on the way to the bench. He's like, man, just get it in. No. I had to make my move. And they go with a little frustration to the bench. Now 10:25 to go in this second, as we are still in the early stages, as Tuckalo unable to win this face-off. But the Astros again give it up, or at least initially they did, to the Lancers. But clearing this is Welch, where Bears will take it with some pressure off of the boards and out. Indirect pass there, unable to be corralled by Tuckalo. So Baldwin keeps it from crossing the goal line, and extended pass was given to Tuckalo. Maybe a 2-on-1 here, but coming back on defense nicely there by Layton. The Astros are still having control here, and picking this one up is Murphy. Murphy on the boards, unable to give it to Shane White, but great effort here along the far side corner. I believe that is Muldoon. Yeah, that is Muldoon. This one here is iced. Icing called against the Astros. I got to catch my breath. A lot of action here going both ways. Many chances, many scoring opportunities for both the Lancers and the Astros, but in particular, the Lancers are getting more chances, at least in this period. They have been all night, for that matter. And McKenzie chipped it below the goal line off of the face-off, and Federico here is unable to keep it in, so he chips it in deep to avoid any chaos going the other way. And Terrio here gets it in back deep where the Astros controlling it here is Sullivan. Sullivan behind the goal line to, if I can see his number, I believe that is Levesque. Giving this one up was Guile, but here come the Astros. Here comes Guile. Move there is unable to take it completely, and here comes McKenzie. He might have a breakaway. Yes, he is. And on goal once again. He scores! McKenzie! He finally gets it to go, and the Lancers have a 3-0 lead. Not once, but twice it took to put it behind Puzzo's net, and it took several times. Puzzo stood strong on several attempts there, but McKenzie was able to do enough from going on the backhand to the forehand and finishing it on the stick side of Puzzo. And, well, what I call a 2-goal lead is insurance. I would call this extra insurance, or maybe some safety insurance that the Lancers now have with a 3-goal lead. And the middle stages here of this second period is losing this one was Mara. That's a toss-up. I don't know. I'll go with Mara, though. And a check there by Austin. What a surprise. He's had his physicality known on the ice. And here is Perella here. Gets the puck nicely chipped away there by Welch. Welch here is unable to hold on to it, though, so Donnelly here will take it as he crosses the red line. And what great effort here. He's still in on the forecheck as he loses an edge. And unable to keeping that one in was Bears. So here is Austin. Austin here at the middle of his circle is able to clear. But this one is a shot on goal and stick aside by Baldwin. Shot taken by Welch. And he shot there with a lot of steam on it, even from that distance out yet again. There we go. Every shot counts because a funny bounce can often happen, especially with a puck and ice. And here the Astros here, back in, shot just goes wide. Back in was taken by Rooney. And the Lancers here having a little trouble getting it out, but they do. And they give up possession to the Astros, does Francis. And Rooney chips it all the way in deep. And so Bears here is pressured by Sullivan. But now here is Austin taking it. And it is blocked there by Banks. Banks there giving a little trouble for the Lancers. And Maloney here unable to get to it at the blue line, so the Astros here keep it alive for the moment. And this one was a delayed offside, but they tagged up, so now they chipped it in. The Astros do, and here is Bears. Lead pass to Morissette. Morissette is checked off the puck there, so which creates a delayed offside and a funny change there. The puck's right in front of the Lancer bench, and they're making a line change, so see if we can keep everything under control there. We do not want an odd man rush going the other way due to a line change. So hopefully Dan LeGros is alert with that. And here is McKenzie, I'll get to that in a moment. A shot here deflected in front, and Tucklow's unable to put it home. That was Sean Cotter. I rarely mention his name. He is getting ice time here. Sean Cotter was coming on in on the Astro goal, and this one is a delayed offside, so Shane White and Tuckalo must check up. So yeah, Sean Cotter getting in some ice time as he prevents that rush there with the stick check, as I mentioned him. And here is Terrio stepping up very nicely on the D. And here is Muldoon after the dump in by Shane White. And Muldoon here, pass was unable to be connected there, so Federico will take it. And he is pressured, so he rounds it around the boards where Pat Murphy will give chase. The Astros chip it in again, delayed offside again, so they must check up again. Or tag up, I should say. I always say that for some reason. Check up versus tag up. I'll eventually get it right. And here is Terrio. Terrio in the far side corner. Unable to hold on to it. So Trask here. He had it, but lost it. But the Astros get it back. It does Leighton. And the Lancers chip it in deep after the Astros giving it up, or gave it up once again. And here come the Astros. I believe that is Trask, because he gets checked off the puck very nicely there by Terrio, taking him out of the play and playing the body very nicely. And the the Astros here are trying to maintain possession, and they don't, but they do tag up. And Hare chips it in deep. Funny bounce off the boards, and a centering attempt there by Mara is covered easily there by Baldwin. And yet another fast-moving period here with 3:45 to go. I don't know if the period's just going by really fast or if I'm having a lot of fun here and the time is just moving very fast. But nonetheless, this hockey game is ticking by pretty quickly. And so here is Murphy here able to win. He was able to win the puck battle there. But now the Astros control here, and dumping it in deep is Rooney. And so Baldwin there goes behind this goal to trap it, where Perillo will give it to, I believe that is Austin. Yes, it is. And he is going all the way down ice, but he is stopped in his tracks there at the opposing blue line. And now the Astros here will control. Does Francis. But he gave it up to the Lancers again. And the Astros are having a tough time getting anything established coming up the neutral zone. A very tough time connecting passes and creating any sort of offensive threat. I am very curious to see how many shots they have on goal. I would be amazed if it was more than 5, as this one here falling to the ice was more set, but he's able to give it cross ice to Nyman. Nyman coming in on goal with Maloney and Donnelly, and this one here is deflected. The centering centering pass. And this one is won by Donnelly on the short side, and holding the post there was Puzzo. And he covers for a face-off. to his right with 2:21 to go in the second period. The Lancers are up by 3. They are leading 3-0. And Muldoon to take this face-off, and the Astros win it. So here comes Nyman here. Nyman's unable to get possession, but Morissette does at the blue line, and now the Astros have it below their goal line. And putting this one up ice is Layton, but he loses an edge. And here comes McKenzie. McKenzie backhands this one off the back of the goal. And here is Bears. Bears gives it to Muldoon. Muldoon back to, I believe, that was Patrick Murphy. Murphy hits it off, I believe, a stick or possibly the goal, and it hits the netting and goes out of play. And with 1:43 to go, the Lancers are looking to keep their 3-goal lead and avoid no momentum change going into the dressing room for the second intermission, while the Astros are still looking for consistent attacking zone. Ice has a great check there by Jack Thompson, another name I don't mention. As soon as he gets a shift here, he makes his presence known with a body check, as this one here, I believe, was deflected off of the shoulder of Puzzo and hits the protective netting, although the official is pointing to the neutral zone, so I guess that shot went straight out of play off of the Lancer. So it's good to see with a 3-0 lead late second period that LeGros is switching and getting players that often don't get ice time, and he is putting them on the ice for short periods of time. Not to mention, but obviously any time is valuable for these players that typically don't get it. And Jack Thompson there made his presence known immediately with that great check in the attacking zone. Coming in on the forecheck is Guile against Federico. And here is Guile. Guile down low to Rooney. This one is sticked aside by Terrio. Terrio again, centering ice attempt there by Trask. And Federico is taking no chances, so he just lets Baldwin cover it. Exactly 47 seconds to go here in the second period. And this faceoff is won cleanly by the Astros, but it gets beyond the blue line. So yet another delayed offside. It is still delayed because that is Gennaro Mera. He crossed the line once again, as this one is in on Puzzo with Donnelly chasing, and he covers. And so a face-off will come to Puzzo's left between Morissette and I believe that is Francis. Excuse me, that is Hare. And Hare wins it. Although Donnelly here is on the near side boards making some trouble there. It is 3-on-3. And Donnelly with persistent effort wins it to, I believe that was Bears. And they still have it here. 15 seconds to go. And a centering pass here in the crease. Could have taken a funny bounce in front with all those bodies in there and all the traffic in the crease. And right after the whistle was blown, I hate to criticize my man Morissette here, but he just rips it into the net for the hell of it. And so a little bit of unsportsman behavior there, but it's nothing to say the least. There's a shot here, lower glove side of Puzzo. We're going to get a penalty here on the Astros. It must be on the Lancers because they have possession. Yep, it's going to be for interference against the Lancers. It's going to be Pat Murphy heading to the box. And in all likelihood, this will be an extended minute 55 of carryover power play time for the Astros, unless they can get a quick goal here right off of the faceoff. And after all the physicality in front of the net that was happening on that Lancer bid, Murphy just decides to forget who it was, but he laid one of the Astros out in front, and the officials were looking right at it. And so the Astros need to win this faceoff if they want to score here in this second period, but they don't. And Austin here winds the rest of the clock as the Lancers score 1 goal in this second period to extend their lead to 3 while keeping the Astros off of the board thus far, leading 3-0 going into the third period. And as I mentioned just a few moments ago, the Astros will have, I thought it was 1:55, but the scoreboard shows 1:54 of carryover power play time, and they absolutely need it for many reasons. One being to get themselves back into this game, and another to see if they can get the momentum back on theirs, or I shouldn't say back on their side, but to try to generate some momentum so they have something to play for here in a game that may be meaningless for the Astros, but they want to finish on a strong note, as any team would. They got to score on this power play coming into the third period. Otherwise, it's going to be a rough go for these last 15 minutes here in the third period, while the Lancers are looking to close it out and make it 4 in a row on the win streak. And after losing 5 in a row and dropping to 4-7, it was a tough hill to climb to get back to 500, but they did with 3 wins in a row, and they're looking to get above 500 with a win tonight, which would put them to 8-7. But don't count your chickens, or don't count your eggs, whatever that phrase is, yet. Still 15 minutes to go, and the Lancers are leading by 3. My name is Jake Ziegler, and you are listening to Lancer Hockey. We will be back for third period action, where the Lancers lead 3-0 over the Astros. And we welcome you back for third period action to come your way momentarily against the Lancers and the Astros, where the Lancers lead by a score of 3-0. And as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast initially about the standings in Division I coming into tonight, I wanted to wait for a second intermission for that, and I shall get to them now. Bishop Girton is leading the way still at 12-1. Concord is second at 11-1. Bedford is third at 11-2. And yes, even to this point in the season, more than 3/4 of the way through the regular season, the Bishop Brady Giants, they are 10-4 at the 4th position. So even though in past seasons they have not been on the winning side of things, they are definitely putting it together this year, and they have been showing a level of consistency that deserves our credit and deserves our praise. So I will continue now. Exeter is at 5th. They are 9-6. Coming in at the 6th spot is the Trinity Pioneers at 7-6. And the 7th spot is the Memorial Crusaders at 8-7. Then our Londonderry Lancers are 8th at 7-7. And then the Manchester Central Little Green at 7-7. The 10th spot is Hanover at 6-6. The St. Thomas Saints, they are 5-8, and the 12th spot is Salem. They are 6-9, and then from there on out, the bottom 4 is Pelham Malvern, Pinkerton, Nashua North, and Nashua South, all of them being well below 500. The buzzer sounds. I see Pinkerton. I do not see Londonderry. I see the Pinkerton coaching staff and the officials, and we are awaiting Londonderry's entrance as well as the coaching staff's entrance. So as far as playoff implications are concerned, the Lancers will most likely get in if they win tonight. And they will most definitely clinch a playoff berth if they also win tomorrow, given that they are able to hold on to tonight's lead with 15 minutes to go. They would clinch a playoff berth, given that that happens. While the Pinkerton Astros are on thin ice, they must win all 4 of their games and get help, because the best that they can finish off is 8-10. the best that they could finish off is 8-10 if they somehow pull this one out down 3 and win their next 3. But they must win all 4 because the last playoff position is Salem, as they are 6-9. And they, along with other teams, would have to lose at least 1 or 2 of their remaining 4 games so that Pinkerton could somehow, under all circumstances, somehow make their way into the playoff structure. But again, with the way they are playing tonight and the way that they probably have been playing all season, it is difficult to imagine them making the miracle come true. Usually Pinkerton is dominant with most of their sports because they are an academy. They are able to select students from a wider variety of locations, while the Londonderry High School only is able to recruit students within the town of Londonderry as well as other surrounding towns such as Hooksett and Manchester, as we are underway here in the 3rd period with the Pinkerton Astros having a carryover power play here, and Donnelly is able to clear it for the moment. But Francis comes in, and Astros are looking for their first goal of the night, as this a lob of a shot by Trask is chested by Baldwin, and he snatches it out of the air. And so Donnelly here on the face-off is unable to win it for the Lancers. So here is Welch. Welch gave it to Trask on the near side boards, but clearing that one down all the way and in on Puzo was Maloney. And this pass here is unable to be connected, and the Lancers scale it down ice again with 1 minute to go on the Pinkerton power play. Their first one of the night as well. It is a carryover one. And a little hesitation there from the blue line. Hesitation was exhibited there by Welch. But here is a great play by Maloney to give trouble on the Astro power play on the near side boards right in front of the Astro penalty box. And there is now 31 seconds to go here on this Astro power play, and they are generating very little to nothing. They have 1 shot on goal thus far, and Maloney just carelessly one-hands it down ice as he knocks it away from Trask. Trask intended pass for Hare, but coming up ice and chipping in deep was Francis all the way around the boards, and Austin is able to get it all the way out. 2 seconds and 1, and the power play is over as we are back to even strength here, as this one is deflected off of Austin. Shot was taken by Banks. Very weak shot, although it was deflected. And so here comes McKenzie along with Pat Murphy on the forecheck, as Puzzo here sticks it aside, but unable to control that was Layton. So the Lancers have it here. Does Murphy, and he is taken down on the ice by one of the Astros in front, and could have been a holding penalty by Banks, but he is unable to get that call from the officials. But we do get a call here. It is going to be interference, and it is going to be against the Astros, so the Lancers will get their second power play opportunity, and going to the box for the Astros is Patrick Hare. And with 12:22 to go in this 3rd period, Lancers are looking to put a 4th goal on the board and in all likelihood salt this game away. And Morissette here on the face-off. Won it to Donnelly, who gives it back to Cotter. I believe that's Cotter. No, that is Federico. Federico gives it to Maloney, and a shot here is in the breadbasket of Puzzo, and he holds it. And an offensive change for the Lancers. It's going to be Mackenzie, Muldoon, and Pat Murphy. The offense for the power play here. And here's Muldoon. Muldoon backhands it. I believe it went off the referee's skate in the corner. And Muldoon with support here behind the goal line. He is looking for options, and he gives it to Mackenzie. Mackenzie back to Muldoon as he comes in looking for a centering attempt, but he goes around the goal now as nothing was there, and the Astros are taking away a lot of shooting lanes. But Mackenzie here still controlling. And great play there by Jackson Puzzo, the brother of Jordan Puzzo, the netminder for the Astros here. And this one, woo, heads up. The trainer on the far side, Michelle Hart Miller, she almost got decked in the head by a puck as this one is out of play and hits the far side wall along the bench side of the ice. And I should mention, as I always try to give credit to everybody involved, are the trainers. Michelle does a great job for the Lancers on all sports, on all different types of levels. She gives great care and always tries to make us better athletes one way or another. It doesn't matter what it takes. She is willing to do what it takes to improve our eating habits and to improve our athletic ability upon many levels. So I give her a lot of credit for doing everything that she does as the trainer for Londonderry. As Donnelly here wins the puck in a centering attempt here, rebound for Maloney as he backhands in and on Puzzo, and a shot here blocked in front, rebound, another save by Puzzo, and the Lancers are they are able to keep this one in. And now Donnelly with 5 seconds to go on the power play, maybe one more shot. He backhands it down the boards to Morissette. And we are back to 5-on-5 as Hare comes out of the penalty box. And a centering attempt here for Morissette. Might have been deflected in front. Morissette there, unable to cash in. And this one might be an opportunity for Levesque. Levesque with Parilla on the back check. Excuse me, that's Guile has a chance here, but losing an edge was, I believe, Francis, and a possible odd man rush here. Nyman gives it to Maloney. No odd man rush as the Astros are able to get back on defense. And so here is Layton. Layton puts up the boards, and it is bounced around like a pinball off of many legs in front, around the blue line. And so taking this, believe, is Levesque. And the Astros give it up once again. Here is Federico. Federico back to Shane White, and this shot probably going wide, but Puzzo is taking no chances as he gloves it. And with 9:20 to go here in this third period, the Astros are on very thin ice for a margin of error. They must score at least 3 goals in the span of 9 minutes and 20 seconds, and that is assuming that the Lancers don't score here, but they might, as a shot there was fanned. I believe it was fanned in front by Mike McCormick. That is one name I do not mention too often. He is getting some ice time as well, along with others, as the Astros here are having trouble getting it out. And Federico, along with Shane White, give trouble here on the near boards, and Brian Murphy here to join them. Oh, what a check! Right at the center ice was Puzzo. Jackson Puzzo just leveled one of the Lancers. And hello, keep your head up or you will face the consequences. And the consequence there was an unexpected check. And here was, I believe, Levesque. He fans on a shot in the attacking zone, but they still control here due to the Astros. Late in here, gives it to Marcielli, who chips it in deep. And now here is Terrio. Terrio hits the brakes, gives it to, I believe that is Shane White. Yes, it is, and he's trying to go through the legs, but the bounce here goes right to Muldoon. And Muldoon is unable to win it. Great play there in front, or I should say defensively, by Cody Sullivan. But the Lancers still keep it in. And here is Muldoon along with Murphy, Pat Murphy, on the forecheck. And here is Muldoon, who wins the puck and gives it to Bears. And a check there on the far side by, I believe that was Brandon Levesque, and he wasn't anywhere near the puck. And it is going to be an obvious interference call. Excuse me, that's Chris Guile. He's going to go to the box for interference as he leveled one of the Lancers in front of the Lancer bench. And the coaching staff was looking for the call, as they should have been. And with 2-minute power play here, with a 2-minute power play for the Lancers, this pretty much puts it away as long as the Astros don't score a shorty. But the Lancers are looking to salt this one away with a power play goal, as they are 1 for 2 tonight, I believe. This is their third power play opportunity. Here is McKenzie on the far side of the circle. A save there by Puzzo off of the wrist shot. And here is Bears, gives it to Nyman, and a wrist shot here deflected, I believe, by Murphy. Might have been one of the Astros in front, but nonetheless it goes wide, and a backhand shot there by Puzzo. Rebound still loose in the crease. I believe that was Murphy, Pat Murphy, chipping it away at it, trying to bury it home, but he is unable to do so as Puzzo gloves it and squeezes the pads to avoid the puck squeaking through the 5-hole. And so Morissette here wins the faceoff to Donnelly, back to Bears, and he goes in from the top of the circle. And now here is Pat Maloney. Oh, and what a attempt there from cross ice. Maloney, the Bears, and he's unable to get good wood on it. And this attempt here by Welch is blocked in front from the blue line, as the Lancers still control here. And here's Morissette. Bad angle shot. Might have been off of the side of net, possibly the netminder of Puzzo, and it heads out of play. And I am guessing it went off of Puzzo, because an attacking zone faceoff for the Lancers will result with 58 seconds to go on this power play and 6:32 to go, and what will most likely be the last period of play, as a backhand right off the faceoff by Maloney just goes wide on the stick side of Puzzo. But the Astros clear off of that shot. But here is Donnelly. He gains the blue line with now 45 seconds to go here. The Lancers are trying to capitalize on yet another power play. A slap shot here by Austin. Slap shots are not often taken by the Lancers. It's usually Austin, the only one taking them. Austin here to Donnelly. A shot here off of the arm of Puzzo, being his right arm. And he gets a piece of that to keep it out. Under 6 minutes to go in this one, as the Astros here are able to clear with ease, at least up to the red line, as Austin blocks it down. With 10 seconds to go, one last rush here for the Lancers on the power play. Here comes Maloney all the way in, and a shot here off the outside of the post. And Puzzo covers as he keeps the arm high enough to prevent it from climbing over. But 6 seconds still remain on this power play, so with a quick face-off win, the Lancers may be able to get one more shot off on this power play. A relatively productive one with many shots on goal, but Brian Murphy gave it to Terrio behind the blue line, and making his way out of the penalty box was Guile, and stealing this one is Brian Murphy. Murphy in on goal, a shot here by Puzzo, and it bobbles around, and he is able to cover. After many ricochets off of the shot there by Murphy, and I believe it was Sean Cotter, possibly others, and the rest of the Lancers looking for the rebounds. And off of this face-off, the Astros win it, and clearing it all the way down ice is Levesque, and icing is waved off. So Federico takes the proper action. It does a little spinorama, but doesn't hold the puck at all. Interesting there, and Lance is having a little trouble here coming out. And here's Guile on the backhand off the outside of the cage, and Baldwin is taking no chances, playing it safe as he dives out and covers it. exactly 5 minutes to go. And if the Astros are desperate, they might as well pull their goaltender. They do need 3 goals, which is a tough hill to climb in a 5-minute time interval, but it's hockey. Anything can happen. Off the face-off here behind the goal line. Murphy loses it, but Federico is right there to take it. He's unable to clear it. And here's Terrio again. Excuse me, not again. It was just Terrio to begin with. He gives it to McKenzie all the way up to the red line. And the Astros scale it in, but it went off one of the Lancer bodies. I believe it might have been Terrio. And this one here will not go for icing. So here is Guile on the forecheck. Guile here wins the puck. Excuse me, he wins the puck. But he's unable to find one of his teammates in front. And the Astros are looking more like the alive team here, the team that's looking more especially in the later stages here of the third period. And here comes McKenzie. A shot on here is juggled a little bit by Puzzo, but he covers once it bounces off of his chest, I believe it was. And with now 4:02 to go in this third period, the Lancers are looking to just tick off the rest of this remaining time in the third period and make it 4 in a row. Here is Nyman giving it to Morissette, who just chips it in as far as the top of the circle where the Astros give it up, and Morissette brings it on in while Donnelly was still caught in the offensive zone. So an offside is called by the officials, who I will say have been great tonight. The officials have been calling penalties both ways. They called the majority, at least from what I've seen, around the puck. I'm not sure maybe what happened off of the puck and away from the puck. But from what I have seen, they have done a terrific job here tonight. And here come the Astros, but a shot here is deflected off of a Lancer defenseman and goes way wide. So taking this was Levesque as he gives it down low. And now it comes back off top, and a shot here. Glove save by Baldwin. That might have been his toughest shot of the night that he has faced. I mean, I will go back in the film and verify that, but I cannot see another shot throughout this game that has gave Baldwin a lot of trouble, or that has been troublesome. I believe that one had a little bit of traffic in front, so he had to be good with his eyes there and tracking that puck all the way into his glove. And Tuccolo wins this faceoff. And so here is Murphy. Oh, but a little funny bounce off the skate, and a shot here goes way wide off of the end boards, and I believe it hit Baldwin's stick too before hitting the end boards. And so here is Austin. Austin here just tries to scale it out, but it goes off of Murphy's body. Brian Murphy's body, to be specific. Here is Parilla. Parilla scales it all the way in. And so the Lancers here are looking to ice the cake, maybe put one more behind Puzzo. And here is Marcielli, but he's unable to clear the blue line. And after a deflected clear there off of Murphy, they are able to do so. And a great check there by Perillo at the blue line. But answering him was Puzzo, Jackson Puzzo, on the near side boards. And a little bit of a scrum here for the puck, as it is caught under many skates and continues its high up here. But taking this one out of all of that was Parilla, and he's able to clear it as we approach 2 minutes to go. And the Lancers still lead the Astros by 3, as they did at the end of the second period. No goals have been scored here in the third period. Oh, and what a check there by McKenzie. Oh, that was the hardest check of the night. He just stands up at the red line and decks the Astro. Oh, you'll never see a better hit than that, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. You could hear that hit. And to think, did I say Mike McKenzie? I meant Sean Carter. Sean Cotter. And he gets very little ice time, and he Actually, I believe it was Mike McKenzie. I'll double check that for you. Obviously, you can check that for yourself on the film, but whether it was McKenzie or Connor, what a huge check stepping at the red line there. Very unexpected. I think Lancers just wanted to, how do I want to phrase this? The Lancers just wanted to send a message before the Astros took the bus back to Derry, and going to the box here for a slashing penalty is Mike Francis. That's his second penalty of the night. Almost an irrelevant penalty at this point in the game when the Lancers up 3 and a minute 33 to go in this hockey contest. And here is Terrio on what will be the final power play of the game in all likelihood. And Donnelly down low along with Austin for support. Donnelly still has it here. He gives it to Terrio. Terrio back to Donnelly at the side of the circle, and unable to corral that was Austin, but he now has it here as he comes in on goal, gives it to Terrio. He's unable to connect there. And we are under a minute, 52 seconds to go. And a centering attempt here. Oh, missed time by Morissette. That has happened several times tonight. The Lancers are just a hair away from putting goals in on the backside. It's just a timing play they got to work on the power play and how much oomph you want to put on your passes. As this one here goes across ice and was not deflected in front, as that was the goal there. And here is Donnelly on the far side. He wins it. He comes in on goal. A shot here. Wow. Right over the bar. He comes in down the slot uncontested. He had a wide open lane there. Here is now Maloney with 8 seconds to go. Terrio deflected it, and now here's Morissette. One last opportunity here as he scales it over the shoulder of Puzzo. And the Lancers have won 4 in a row. 4 in a row for the Lancers as they beat the Pinkerton Astros as the score that was last time, except they kept the Astros off the board this time, and Baldwin earns, I believe, his 4th shutout of the season. It is Baldwin's 3rd shutout in his last 4 games, as he has shut out the Exeter Bluehawks, the Salem Blue Devils, and now tonight the Pinkerton Astros. He is having a terrific season, Baldwin is, in the later stages here of the regular season. And I would assume now, if they haven't been already, the Astros are eliminated from playoff contention as they drop to 4-11, while the Lancers improve above 500 after dropping to 4-7 and losing 5 in a row. They are now above 500 as they improve to 8-7. It's been a great night of hockey here at the Ice Center. Very physical contest, mostly dominated by the Lancers, but the Astros should have nothing to hang their heads about because this season is not their season. Obviously, they are not going to make a run at the playoffs. It's just not their year. I mean, I have not seen any of their other games besides the one against the Lancers in their previous meeting. But hopefully good things for them are to come for their organization. But as a Lancer hockey fan, you are happy with the way they have performed against them both times, only allowing 1 goal in 2 contests. The next game for the Lancers as they conclude this homestand is against the Nashua South Purple Panthers. This coming Saturday, the puck drop is scheduled for 8:25 here at the Ice Center, and I truly hope that we are on this rink once again. We can make it 4 in a row on this rink, because we have great luck on this rink. We have only lost 1 game on this particular rink. That game was against Concord, although that was by a margin of 3-2, only a 1-goal game in that contest. So hopefully we can keep it on this rink as the Purple Panthers, who are having a very struggling season, visit Salem against the Lancers. It has been a great game here tonight. My name is Jake Ziegler. I thank you for listening to my voice all night, and I hope that the Lancers can continue their winning ways as they defeat the Astros here tonight, and they complete the season sweep 2-0 as they defeat the Astros 3-0. I will see you next time when the Lancers play the Purple Panthers. Good night, everybody.